So just recording on this, and I'm highlighting this fact here that you have two different versions of the PowerPoint. This one with the sound, please download it at your leisure, and that will give you the full explanation of today's lesson. Today, I'm using this one here, which doesn't come with the video and the sound, and that's so I can just give you an overall summary. If you want to get the full lesson, full explanation of any slide, please go and look at this one here, download it, and there's an explanation that I've given to you on that. So please do that. I hope this frees us up, frees me up, and frees you up. When I say frees me up, well, I don't want to go and talk here for 40 minutes on this topic. I just want to hit the main highlights, and then you go and find the fill in the gaps if you like. And it frees you up because you don't have to listen to the thing for 40 minutes me talking. You can, in your leisure, go and pick up that PowerPoint and look at each individual slide and listen to the bit that you need. All right, but I hope that you're familiar with the idea of a telephone service call desk or whatever, service desk, call. What do they call those? Where everybody sort of works, that call desk or whatever. Um, Basically, the idea is taking calls from people that, to each of those individual people, it's kind of an urgent thing. And the service desk personnel who could be located anywhere, and we talked about this in previous lessons, those people, what they will do is they will try and take the details of the incident. So it's an incident response system. They'll try and take the details of that incident and get started on resolving that incident. When I say resolving, that means solving the problem. Not we don't use it for problem. Solving the incident, restoring back to original. And so you wouldn't be surprised, I'm sure, because okay, so numbers that you might have come across, 121. Anybody ever call that number? I use that number sometimes when I want to call Arito. So I have that one memorized, right? I'll just get on my phone, 121, and I'll be put through to one of these automatic call distribution systems. Now, the automatic call distribution system, ACD, we call it, that's mentioned in this in this this PowerPoint discussion. Basically, you're talking to an not a person, but it's like a robot, and they eventually get you to the right person by you choose one for this, two for that. And then eventually you end up talking to the right person. So when you're talking to that person, you know, there's some sort of rules that sort of go with it. Firstly, they even if you got an automatic call distribution system, there has to be some way of keeping that person engaged or getting their permission to stay held on the line, or keeping them informed on how long it'll be. And you'll notice if you're in one of those automatic call distribution things that it'll say, you know, there are 4 people before you in the queue. And you know that sometimes it'll say how long. Sometimes it'll say, you know, if you leave us your number, we'll call you back. But basically, you have to sort of keep the customer informed on what's going on there. So we have this term responsiveness, which is basically just like a measure of time. How long does it take from the time that the customer sort of tries to initiate that contact, tries to start that contact, till the time that they actually get somebody sort of speaking to them. So when you're on the phone, as I said, people on the service desk who are answering the phone, they actually get a lot of training in this on how to answer the phone, and these things that we're talking about here are covered in their training. So they're trained to answer with a enthusiasm in their voice, with positiveness and politeness, of course. And so, as it says there, service desk could take ingoing and outgoing calls. Outgoing calls means that your service desk could be used to sort of contact your users proactively, to sort of make sure that a particular service is given to them. So it's these I talked about the automatic call distributor just a minute ago. That's the one that you contact, and you know, press 1 for for Wi-Fi connections or whatever, for fiber, for internet. Press 2 for your be-in telephone. Sorry, not televisions. and press 3 for a mobile phone, that kind of thing, right? So it's going to distribute the call depending on the user's menu choice. Voice over internet protocol. Yeah, what's that? Yeah, I mean, actually nowadays, so you're using your phone. As soon as you get connection to a Wi-Fi, you've got all kinds of tools that you can use, that you can have telephone calls. You can call people using WhatsApp. You can call people using Skype. So basically, that's the type of thing that we're talking about, is where you have a tool where you can talk to somebody, but you're not actually using a plug into the wall phone, and you're not, though you're using your mobile phone, you're using the Wi-Fi connection. You're not actually connecting through the normal telephone network. You're just going over the internet. So that's our voice over IP protocol. These things are kind of, there's a lot of change in this. Now, the mention there of voicemail, I'm sure that you've come across that. Faxes, you might not be familiar with because they're kind of phased out most places. I saw something the other day that was said that one of the things that Europeans don't understand about Americans is that the Americans still use faxes. Now, we have a fax here. Um, I would say that I have dealt with businesses in the United States that don't use faxes. So what they use is editable PDF files. So you can get a PDF file and you can get software. I mean, everybody's got it on their phone now, where you can sign a PDF document using an app on your phone. So PDF has basically taken the place of fax, I think. Um, so the technology and the service desk, the point there is, yeah, we have these new technologies that are there. They're making it better for the customer, and they're making it better for the service desk people. Sometimes customers don't always think that. Some people feel that the new technology might, how you say, isolate them. And so we have to be careful in the service desk that we're not sort of putting a barrier to our customers. And so that's why we talk about being responsive. That's why we talk about sort of being, so responsive is getting to the customer quickly, being polite, working with them. All right, so this is a diagram showing some of the top technology in an ACD. Oh, sorry, this is voice messaging. So here you have a server where you're keeping voice messages on a system. So I think Arito will set you up with that. Fax I mentioned, it's basically still there. People like it. I mean, what's good about a fax is that it's analog, not digital. I mean, so you might say, oh yeah, but actually all the networks in the world now are digital. So how do you do analog? Well, our voice is analog. So first you have to digitize the voice, and then you have to re-analog it at the other end on a telephone call nowadays. So basically that's what happens with a fax. It's kind of like a voice, and it has a signature in it. And so some people think that it's less likely to be, it's more secure. I'm not sure on that. I think that there'd be an argument against that. The ACD I talked about as well. The idea of the ACD, do you see the arrows? Different customers have different needs. Those needs are funneled into the ACD. The ACD then takes the customer call and gets it to the right person. So you have, for example, at Arito, you have your experts who are there to help people with their fiber connections. You have your experts there that are there to help them with their Hala and their mobile phones, and you have your experts that are there to help them with their television service, which is all sort of provided. And so the customer is asked what kind of incident they have, and then that is sort of filtered through, and the right person gets the call. So that's your ACD. I'm not going to sort of go on that too much. It talks there about, if you look at the slides, it talks about statistics coming from the ACD. If somebody's working on a service desk like that, statistics are gathered. How long are they on the telephone for? How long does it take them to close an incident? Then we have satisfaction surveys. Was the customer satisfied with the way that they closed the incident? All of those things can be recorded on the computer system, which is our ACD. Now, voice response unit, as it says there, when somebody speaks into this computer system, a information can come up. So it's like, you could say a customer name and a database would be searched based on that. So nowadays there's really tight sort of technology between voice and data. That is, I'm sure you might have noticed this if you're watching a YouTube video. Um, the person is talking, and immediately there's a the words are put as a subtitle, and that can be translated into a foreign language. This is basically happening as you watch. So all of these technologies are out there. So basically, a voice um, message can be taken by a computer system and used to make some data, which can be then used to search a database. And that's what's happening there. Technology doesn't always work. That's what this slide is about. And so if there's something wrong with our technology, that can actually cause a lot of problems for our customers and for us then. Computer telephony integration, that's basically just what I've been talking about. The screen pop idea is, so as I said, you're talking on the phone, you ask the person for their customer number. They say their customer number, and then a little screen comes up for the service desk personnel, which sort of has details of that customer. And it might be details of the last interaction with that customer. What was the last incident that they had, or it could just be their profile details. So that could be what we call a screen pop. So yeah, so the caller ID, as I said, that could be typed in as a way of getting back all that details on the customer, or it could just be from the person talking. Certainly in the year 2021, we have this ability, and it's been around for a while, right? So I mean, we have these Amazon technology, Alexis or whatever, and there's another one on our phones, right? So Google has one, which is pretty good, and Apple had one, Siri, right? Siri, and you just talk to the phone. Well, that is totally possible on our help desk technologies as well. So the customer, we just get them to say their ID or their name, and then up comes all this data out of the database for us. The idea of this diagram is to give you the understanding that the main reason for these technology inputs is going to be economic. Uh, it's going to be bottom lines of the business. That is, that it saves money or it gains money. So we're using the technology either to get more revenue or to cut our costs. And technology has been used that way ever since there's been computers. So like since 1950, um, every time we have a new computer system, that's kind of the thing that they're looking at. Now, it might not seem that way directly, but it is. So you might say, oh yeah, well, the richest company in the world now is, I think it's actually Elon Musk now. But before Elon Musk, it was like Facebook or something. And so, how's that technology all about making money? It's free. Well, actually, it's free except the data of all the customers that are on Facebook that is used by Facebook. For marketing purposes, that information is sold to other companies, and they use that for marketing. And yeah, and that because if you say something on Facebook, you're talking to your friend, like I'm talking to my friends, like I'm into motorcycles. Gee, this motorcycle tire that I got on my bike, it's really bad. I think I'd like to get one with this kind of specification. Well, you know what? Like within 2 hours, I have an email or I have a message come up or I have on Facebook, which is trying to sell me that exact tire that I was talking about from some vendor. So yeah, you tell me how that's happening, right? So, I mean, they are absolutely in the business of making money. It's not about providing a free service at all. So they're getting paid for that referral to that company that's now going to try and sell me the tire, which I talked to my friend about. So yeah, all of those things are happening. It's about money. And so technology and money, we know they're a real big thing. And that also, I mean, if you just Google and see who's the richest peoples in the world, right? All of them have got something going with technology. I mean, it was Jeff Bezos. Before that, it was the Apple guy, right? After the Apple guy, it was the Facebook guy. Then it was Jeff Bezos, and now it's Elon Musk. And every one of them is something to do with technology. Yeah. Um, I think I might stop there, and let's leave the rest for another lesson. But as I said, please go and have a look at the chapter there. I'm not going to go through all of that now, obviously, because I'm stopping sort of talking about that now. But please do have a look at chapter 3 with sound there. We have plenty of time to do this. There's no big rush because we only have 9 chapters and we're already on chapter 3. Now, let's see if some other people have come that I haven't marked present yet, because I'm going to mark the roll now. There it is. So I've got here Anwar. Oh, the problem is with Zoom is the stuff sits over top and you can't see anything behind it. So there's Anwar and Aya and Haydar. I got Haydar, I think, and Lowa. I think I got Lowa. And Omar. Did I mark Omar? Yeah, Omar and Yusuf. So those are the people that are here. Thank you. That's quite a lot of people absent, but we'll see. Maybe some people will show up in a minute. So any questions? Kind of a short lesson. Ali. Oh,
Excuse
thank
me, sir.
yes, Ali, I see you there. I'm sorry I
Yeah,
didn't.
you didn't mark me present here.
You're right. It's good that you saw that. See there.
Yeah.
Now you can see I marked you present,
Yeah,
and I'll
that's fine.
save
Thank you.
that. Good. Thank you. Anybody else I missed? Abdullah. Did I get Abdullah? I don't know if I got Abdullah.
I just logged in, so
Yeah, that's why. Okay, so which one have we got? Is it Abdullah Al Shabani
yeah,
or Abdullah Fahad?
that's Hibani.
Al Shabani. Yeah, welcome. All right. So thanks, guys. I think I've marked everybody who's present. You tell me if your name hasn't been marked and it's on. So who I've got present is Abdullah, Ali, Anwar, Aya, Haidar, Lola, Manya, Omar, and Yusuf. Anybody I missed? Because that's all I see there. That's good. All right. So I'm going to stop with that presentation, and I'm just going to ask you to have a look also at the worksheet. Some people have looked at it already. Fill in the answers. Try and do it yourself. Don't just copy from your friend, because it's preparation for the quizzes and the test. And then have a look at the chapter that I just discussed with you, and that will be enough for this lesson. And yeah, so any sort of questions on that? I'm going to stop the share. I hope I'm recording this. I think I am. Okay, let's see. Am I recording this? Yes, I am recording. So I'm going to